everyone, here's Mayuri back with a new tutorial on the conditional statements in Python. So my dear friends, let's begin it. Conditional statements. As the name tells, my dear friends, it is used to check the condition. These statements are used to check the condition. Here are some 4 statements, conditional statements. Let's have a look on each. What's exactly its syntax, how exactly to use, how exactly it works. So let's begin it. First statement is a if statement. In Python, if statement is used for decision making. It will run the body of code only if statement is true. That means whatever the expression we are giving, if it's true, then only the if statement get executed. Here is a syntax that if whatever the expression, whatever the condition we are going to use, and it contain, my dear friends, colon, then the indentation instead of curly braces in Python we use indentation, and it contains statement 1, 2 till the end. That means if the condition is true, then only if statements get executed. Second one is if-else statement. When you want to justify one condition while the other condition is not true, then you can use if statement. That means, my dear friends, in the previous we have seen that if statement is used only when it's true, but if suppose that condition is false, then we use if-else statement. If you see here the syntax that if, then expression, whatever the condition, then the colon, if this expression is true, then the if statement will get executed. If it's false, then the else statement will get executed. This is what the if-else statement and how exactly it works. Now the next one is if-elif-else statement. The elif keyword is Python's way of saying if the previous condition was not true, then try this condition. That means if the first condition is not true, then move towards the next condition. Now if you here see the syntax that if, it will test here expression, it will test the condition. If it's true, then the body of if will get executed. If this test expression is not true, then it will move towards elif test expression. That means the first test expression is not true, then it will move to another expression, another condition, and body of elif will get executed. If all the conditions are not true, then the else will get executed. Now the next one is the nested if statement. That means, as the name tells, my dear friends, nested, that means inside another. That means we can have a if-elif statement inside another if-elif-else statement. This is nesting in computer programming. That means if statement contains in the another if statement. This is what a nested if statements mean. Any number of this statement can be nested inside one another. Indentations is the only way to figure out the level of nesting. That means in the other programming languages, as we use the curly braces, but in Python we use the indentation, which is nothing but the tab. Now if you see here the syntax that if condition 1, right, and the colon, then if this condition 1 is true, then it will move towards the condition 2. That means inside the if statements condition 1, again if condition, it will move. That means if condition 1 becomes true, then only it will move inside the condition 2. That means if contain the another if condition, it can contain n number of conditions and it will contain the n number of statement. Now my dear friends, let's have a practical session where you will clear your all the doubts and the queries. So let's have a watch on it. Now firstly begin with the if statement. Here we are going to see a if statement. For that purpose, I'm going to take 3 numbers. That print enter 3 numbers, and for these 3 numbers we are going to check using a if statement. Let me take an input from the user. That is, I will take the 3 numbers from the user. For that, what we use a predefined method input. As we used before it int, because by default input get or returns a string value, right? So we have here did the typecasting where we used int, right? Now n1, n2 and n3, these all 3 variables will get stored. Whatever the number we are going to enter, that will be stored in the variable n1, n2 and n3 corresponding. Now let's start here condition. If n1 is greater than n2 and n1 is greater than n3 colon, if I put the enter, it will automatically go have a tab. That means here we have used the indentation, right? Now if this condition will satisfy, then what will I will get? N1 is largest. That means whatever the n1 I'm going to enter, it will check whether this n1 is greater. It will compare with n2 and n3 and it will print the message if it's true that n1 is largest. Now let's check for the n2. Here same I have done, that is n2 is greater than n1 and n2 is greater than n3. Here I have used the AND operator. That means that both conditions should be satisfied. That is n2 is greater than n1 and n2 is greater than n3. Now let's check for the n3. Same. Okay. Here I will print n3 is largest. If this condition becomes true, that is third condition. This is what the if statement is. Now let's execute it. Here we have did check for the three numbers. We are going to compare three numbers. Which number is the largest? If I run this and see, enter the three numbers. Let me enter the three numbers. I will enter the three numbers. See, the 4 is the largest number as I have entered 2, 3, 4. Obviously the 4 is the largest number. That means the third condition will get here executed. Let me try for other, that is okay. Now here 78 is the largest number. Now my dear friends, let's move the next statement, that is if-else statement. Okay, now here what I will do, I will take the print, then enter number. Okay, now here I have taken the enter number which I am going to store in num variable. Let me use the input method which will take the input from the user. Here I have did the same typecast, that is num. Here I will check the condition. Whatever the number I am going to enter, it will check here if num module is equal to 0. If this becomes 0, that is equal to 0 by modeling it, then the number is an even number, right? Or else what I will print, it is not an even number. That means if the condition gets satisfied, then the if statement will get executed, or else the else statement will get executed. Here I use the indentation. So let me run this. Now enter a number. Let me enter number 3. See, 3 is not an even number. That is else statement had executed. Let me check for the even number. Let me enter the even number at 2. See, 2 is an even number. This is how it exactly works, the if-else statement. That means if the condition is false, then else statement will get executed. Now let's move towards the next statement. The next statement is if-elif-else statement. That means if the first condition is not satisfied, move towards the next condition and check for the next condition. If whatever the number of conditions I have mentioned, if all of them are not true, that means that false, then else statement will get automatically executed. Now here what I have done, val is equal to input enter character. Here I am taking the character. Now here I will check. Here are some of the predefined method in Python, that is val is upper. That means whatever the character I have entered, it will check that it is upper. That means is upper method is used to check whether the character is upper or not. Using the dot operator, you have used that val dot is upper. If this condition satisfy, then it will print it is an uppercase. If this condition is not true, then it will move automatically towards elif statement, that is to the another condition, that is val dot is lower then then the colon, and then the indentation. Then it will print if this condition becomes true, it is a lowercase. If these both conditions are not true, then it will move towards the third condition, that is of elif, that is var is dot is digit. If it is not uppercase, it is not lowercase, then it will move towards the third one, that is whether it is digit or not, it will check. If this all the three conditions are not satisfied, if this all the conditions are not true, then it will automatically move towards the else statement. Else colon, then the indentation, print, it is as symbol. That means whatever the character I have entered, if it is not lower, if it is not upper, if it is not digit, then it is a symbol. Let me check out. See, enter a character. Let me enter the character. As I have entered, so it has printed, it is a symbol. Now enter a character. Let me enter the character. So it is a lowercase. I had used a lowercase, so it has printed, it is lowercase. Let me check for the uppercase. Here I will use the T, capital T. It is the uppercase, right? See, it is a symbol. I have entered the symbol, so it has printed, it is a symbol. So this is the how working of elif statement. That means if first condition is not true, it will move to the second. If it is not true, then it will move to the third conditions, where we can have a number of conditions. Now let's move towards our last statement, that is the nested if statement. Now here also I will check for the three numbers, where I will take the three numbers as an input from the user, that is n1, n2 and n3. Let me take it. Now how exactly nested if is that if contains inside the another if condition, right? If statement contains is inside the another if statement. Now here see n1, n2 and n3. Here I will take the input. Now let me check the condition. If n1 is greater than n2 colon, then indentation, if these condition gets satisfied, that is n1 is greater than n2, then only it will move inside this if statement, my dear friends. Just understand how exactly it will execute. If these both condition get satisfied, it will print that n1 is largest whatever the number I have inputted. Now let's move towards the next if. Let me check for n2, and similarly I will check for n3. Now here also, my dear friends, if these condition get satisfied, it's n2 is greater than n1, then only it will move inside the if statement, that is another if statement. That means first condition gets satisfied, then only it will move inside the another. It will not directly move inside the if statement, which is inside the if statement, another if statement, or if the first get false, also that time it will not move inside the another if condition statement. Let me check for n3. That is n3 is greater than n1. If it is true, then only it will move inside the if another if statement. See here, if this condition gets satisfied, then only it will move here, and then only it will print the message. Same here also, if this condition gets true, then only the if which contains another, it will get executed. Now let me check, enter three numbers. Here I will enter the three numbers. See, the 34 is the largest number I have printed. So this is my dear friends, how exactly the nested if statement works, how exactly we used. And my dear friend, these are all the conditional statement which comes in the Python. Hope you like this video. If you are new to my channel, then subscribe the channel and click on the bell icon, so that you will get notification as soon as I do my next videos. Hope you like this video. If you have any query, let me know in the comment section, and thank you for watching this video. Thank you.